Yes! That was, what was that, 10 seconds?
Give or take.
Give or take.
Give or take 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Green Sunrise Podcast. This is going to be an absolutely diamond of a show. We're going to call this TikTok's algorithm. But what's the full name of this, Brian?
This is TikTok mental health and the impact of algorithms.
The impact of the algorithms. We have one new member, and we'll get to that lassie in a wee minute. She's doing TikTok live in the back. I don't know if you can see the background, but she's doing TikTok live at the moment. But firstly, welcome back, Brian Michell. How are you?
It's good to be back. Can I just say, we've had more cancellations than the coronation for this episode. That might be because I'm back. But see on the a couple of weeks ago,
yep,
I was lying in my bed, right? It was like 12:30 at night, and my eldest boy Adam's got his pals. They're doing the conservatory, and I get waking up with him doing the yeah. It's taking off, mate.
Yes,
it's taking off.
Yes,
it's taking off.
So I've started that.
No, it's great to be here. I'm really looking forward to the conversation tonight. I've been dying to meet WeeWido for a long time.
Aye.
My sister is a big fan of yours.
Like to hear it.
You know what I mean? So, and Leanne.
Yep.
I just met Leanne outside a pub.
Quite literally, that's the truth. But there's reasons to that. Also, okay, so Brian's you've just said as well. But welcome back, WeeWido, man.
Happy to be back.
Thank you so much for coming right back in.
Yeah,
how did you think the last one? How did you find it?
It went really well, mate.
Good,
I've still not watched back the whole thing, because I hate watching myself, man.
What?
You tell him.
Like what?
No, I do. I hate watching myself talk, even though I do it on a daily basis, and
yeah,
even when I go back to my stuff to look through comments, first thing I do is pause the video. I don't want to hear it. So I hate it, man.
But mate,
it's not even that I hate that. It's not even that I hate the sound of my own voice, because I'm used to that now. It's just I just feel like I sound like an idiot sometimes.
Oh man, so you sounded brilliant. You were brilliant. I thought you were amazing, Brian. You agreed with that, didn't
terrific. Absolutely terrific.
It was brilliant.
It was a really good episode, and the stuff that you do on TikTok is just so entertaining.
It's all coming to an end. It's all coming to an end, but I'm chucking it.
Are you chucking it again? You chucked it, didn't you?
Well, I get banned, but I am quitting. As in a week on Sunday. That's my last.
Do you know
day.
what?
Do
you know what? That's it. You're on to the next one, because you know where you want to go.
This is it, man.
It's part of your journey, mate.
Aye, I'm not. In my head, I'm chucking it forever, but I'll probably end up back on it. If I'm being deadly honest, but
it takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Aye, it's kind of it ebbs and flows, doesn't it? And just right now, it's just fell out of love with it a wee bit. Everybody, obviously, I announced that I was quitting, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Don't let people get to you." But do you know, it's not even that. Nobody's ever got to me.
No.
On the app, it's
no.
Nobody affected. I need people to be negative towards me, because it's how I make my content.
It gives you the content that you spoke about.
But it's just, see now, it's like getting up and going. And I think anybody who does any type of content, whether it's TikTok, whether it's podcasts or whatever, you're constantly thinking, what can I put up? What can I put up? What can I do? What can I do? And it's something you need to always try and think of something fresh, something new that also fits your niche and what it is you do, and it's eventually you just.
So do you think you're changing your niche?
No, I've done that enough, man.
Do you know what it is? It's Green Sunrise. You come to Green Sunrise, mate.
Oh,
it's like I believe that you've got so much. I'm not going to say potential. You're so talented in what you do. You're clinically.
I'm just brilliant at everything.
It's hard work, that, I'm telling you. Can never decide what you want
to do. That brings us to the star of the show.
100%.
WeeLee.
Well, hello.
WeeLee. How do you want to? What do you want me to talk to you about your handle? What's your handle? WeeLee11.11 or 11.11?
Paul. It's WeeLee11.11.
11.11.
Sounds better than 11.11.
11.
I know. 11.11.
So welcome to Green Sunrise. Again, me and you have been speaking about this. We're on the live just now, which is brilliant. People
I don't know who
Do you know what?
I've told him I can't read the
We
comments.
need to get somebody to come in. My boy was meant to come today. He would have done that right. That's what they've said.
Aye,
But
because that would be good as
we
well.
get somebody who could do that. But that's a thing we can do in the future.
For questions and stuff even.
21, aye.
Thank you so much for coming into Green Sunrise.
And no
like I said,
cancelling. No
I know,
cancelling.
I
know.
nearly did.
To be fair,
I was
there were a few cancellations today, so there was meant to be a few people in. I gave a wrong date to. So we met to Emma coming on. Obviously, Doug Keed she's done her ankle.
Aye.
And Hawaii 5-0 is a different one as well. And then the real oddballs meant to come in as well. And we've also got
I was a real
guy.
oddball coming in.
Eh?
I take it you've connected with a real oddball as well then.
Aye. Do you know real oddball?
Aye, follows me. We follow each other.
But he's brilliant. I love
Aye.
him. So he's going to come in as well, and him and 5-star are going to come in together. I know it's different, but it's no the real at the same time. So thank you for coming in again, like I say, and I'm looking forward to this because your TikTok is. The best way I can explain it is when I started watching you, it was like you just started doing like the TikTok thing, right? Whereas in your practicing, you're mimicking, right? But you're on point. And I say this to him all the time.
You are really
you're
good.
actually on point. I'm like,
You really need to see if you're doing one with an accent or that. You really need to try that accent to get your mouth movement in that right. Do you know what I mean? So see when you're actually doing it, you're like, see if it's an Irish one, you need to do a bit an Irish accent. No, don't do the Irish accent.
come on now.
What you going to say?
We're all come on. We're going to get a good idea. What's wrong with you?
Top of the morning tea.
Yeah, they've been great on Top of the Pops. No, I might be no Top of the Pops. I used to love when somebody made an ass of that. You know. Or did you ever see the one Oasis done where they get Noel Gallagher to do the Liam Gallagher part? And me just to show it was all just a farce. Your magic at that. But I really want to get back to why you're it's a bombshell. First bombshell on Green Sunrise.
Aye,
that
you're actually going to chuck it.
Aye.
It's that because what I find interesting there is what you were just saying. The thing that I like about the TikTok and social media is that it's a sort of punk rock thing where people have access to all these different social media platforms and anybody can get on board.
Aye.
In the same way in the punk rock in the 70s, people could even play an instrument or create magic.
Aye.
But what I found really interesting, what you were saying there was it's become just like a chore, it's become like a job sort of thing, as if, you know, that expectation.
Aye, well, it's when I started way back, we're going back, I don't know, 3 years, something like that. And at that point I was throwing out 4 or 5 videos a day, but there was stuff to talk about. Because of what my niche was, and my niche, when I first started, as I mentioned before, was all politics. That's all I spoke about. There's always something happening in the political world. There's always stuff to talk about. See now, all I do is wind people up. That's literally, my whole niche is just,
right.
I have a certain way I do things. I'll put up a video. I'll know that video is going to get bites. As soon as it gets bites, that's my next 3-4 videos. It's just replying to these people. And as I've touched on before as well, I go quite deep in, not all the time, but 1 out of every 4 or 5, I'll go quite deep into the person who's kind of been a bit of an idiot to me.
Who was the guy for Nottingham?
Or the boy he's for Barnard Castle, the man with
the white flag at the end. Was he for Nottingham? The guy who was basically saying, "Oh, that poor woman."
Aye, he's for Barnard Castle. Mad Lou. Aye, we've kind of cleared our differences up now, so
He's a good boy.
Aye.
Oh, it was funny to watch. It was brilliant to watch. It was brilliant to watch.
That came bang on the right time for me because I took a break for TikTok for September to January. Just came off it, and then I came back on, and it got that account that I was on was like 1 morning away for a ban, being permanently banned. I replied to him, and I get permanently banned. So I jumped onto another account, and I continued it, and it just went, and just that was it. Like the other account I had like 12,000-13,000, and then like overnight it doubled on followers, and it was just good for me. And like he always hits it with, I gave him his followers, in a way he did.
Aye.
But really I gave myself the followers because he had loads of people responding to him. I was the only one that done well with it.
Aye.
I mean, it's how you respond to these people and I've always been, if I'm responding to a video, I find a way of breaking doing what they say and responding to it individually, whereas people stitch videos or whatever, and you'll only hear a wee bit and then they'll continue. I just used to take his whole video, strip it down into sections, reply to him, try and make every section of what I'm replying a wee bit funnier than the last, and in that just basically strip him his dignity.
Aye.
And then just wait for a response, because I know I'm going to get it, because that's the thing. If you get these people who are making videos, and you see it all the TikTok drama, you see it all the time, people don't know when to shut up.
Aye.
And it's
Aye.
if your back's against the wall, just call it quits. But they don't want to respond, and that just makes me go even
Deeper.
further and even deeper
Aye.
into what I can do. Like there's things I found out about him that I would never ever reveal on a video, because I wouldn't want to bring anything personal towards him.
But you can tell us after.
Possibly, yes.
Just let him know.
Aye.
So that
So there's things that I would never have revealed on a camera, because it's no fair to him and it's no fair to the other people that were involved in
Right.
that. And if he ever tried to get personal with me, it would have been very hard for me to
Aye.
not do that, but he never. So
And also, it's no you.
it's not, no.
It's not you.
It's not. It's an exaggerated version of me, but
Yes.
it's still only about 10% of me.
Yeah, but I think you're now starting to see where you want to go and
Aye.
where you want to make it, as in who you are. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't want to be that negative person
Aye,
that's
doesn't-
doing.
Aye, it doesn't. Yeah,
If you're too positive, and I think you know you can give more.
Aye.
Than just that.
Aye, well, this is it. Aye, it's and there's those things like in my head when I'm on TikTok or on any social media, I'm a character. That's why like, when I do this, I'm like use WeeWido, don't use my real name.
Yeah.
Because it's a different version of me, and
Right.
it's just
No, WeeWido's good.
I totally get that though.
Yep.
Like TikTok was a big thing for me. Like
Yep.
when I had obviously, long story short, I had got out of an abusive relationship, and that was
Yep.
genuinely the massive thing for me. Like being able to help my mental health and stuff, and then you
Right.
can step out of who you are and be somebody
Aye,
else.
100%.
And it genuinely it's that's what it's like, and it's good to escape yourself for a wee while.
Because you chucked
If that makes any
You
sense.
chucked it
Cool.
as well, didn't you, for a wee while? You chucked it. You were off it for a good.
It just
wee while.
didn't feel it, like he's saying. I think it's when your heart's no in it, like, and that reflects on your videos as well. You can totally tell when someone's heart isn't there, what
Aye,
they're right,
100%.
what they're saying in that. And I was just like, nah, I can't do that because it's going to reflect, it's going to show. I just couldn't. I can't make videos unless I'm feeling it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because you can definitely tell.
Aye, 100%. Right,
Yeah,
so
it is.
the first we're going to do this. We're going to try and do this in 5 segments, right, or 5 parts, and I suppose each part would have so many different wee bits that's going to spiral from it. And I think the first part. What was the first part going to be, Brian? Did we say personal? It's personal experience.
Yes.
So,
So
about-
people's personal experience, which obviously Leanne and WeeWido have clearly been sharing and demonstrating.
So just to be clear, it's personal experience with mental health and TikTok together, because it's going to be about TikTok, right? TikTok's algorithms is eventually what we'll talk about. So, Brian, I'm going to start with you actually, because you're new. You're quite new to TikTok, aren't you?
I just watch it.
Just watch it.
I just watch
so
it.
there's
I mean-
nothing, but negatively, what or mental health wise, what does it do for you in a sense?
For me, for mental health, I love watching people busting plugs. You know what I mean? I love the ones.
Aye.
I love watching
Busting plugs.
I know, I was like,
plugs.
oh, right.
Dr.
So did
Accent,
that. Pussy plugs are
Oh, right, joking. It's people busting plugs.
Oh,
Aye,
It's
have you seen Dr.
satisfying.
Pimple Popper?
Oh, I've heard it. Right, sorry,
Brilliant.
I've heard it, but I've never. So people talk about it. I've never watched it.
Love it.
Disgusting. Brian.
Disgusting but satisfying.
It is.
Oh,
Definitely. I mean, I seen one the other day, the guy had a big like size of football in the back of his head. And somebody just came out and bang, explosion.
My goodness,
Oh,
man.
Been at a phone party in the 90s.
Brilliant. All the wee kids shows, no, the kids shows, Noel's house party, guns, you know, and it's all the guys like, ah.
And it's
But I know I love watching WeeWido, and he's just sitting in his bed a lot of things. Obviously, you're up with a hard hat on. Just
tours around Glasgow, just
give, giving it, or Leanne doing this. I just love it. That is a great. People obviously the criticism of social media is you go to a pub, you go to a restaurant. You mentioned it in the last episode, and people are all stuck on their phones, right? And they're all more interested. But I think a lot of that's to do with what you're saying, taking a step out of where you actually are, and going into something for your own mental health. Everything in life is a positive and is a negative. So people can then, or yourself, you're one who's driving along, singing to yourself, right?
Aye.
But you're not singing to yourself, you're singing to your followers.
Aye.
I'm not up, or green sunrise. There's Paul singing away. That is my mental health experience.
I get
Maybe I'm a coward. Maybe I'm a coward because I don't go into myself. I don't take on. Because, as you know, I've got some extreme left-wing politics stuff. But to me, it's just it should be
It's like bubblegum TV. Bubblegum TV.
It's not a forum for, but no, sometimes I'll see people who'll maybe challenge yourself and think, what am I meant to be going that guy? But I can understand where you're coming from. It might end up wearing you down, or sometimes I have had wee arguments on Twitter, and some people, as you say, they'll not get up. You just feel like saying, I've said my bit.
Just stop it.
Aye,
like, even if we go back to the boy Lou that was thinking me, that stopped, right? So it stopped maybe end of February. He'd blocked me, heard nothing from him for weeks and weeks. And then I get banned on my main account. I jumped to my other account and straight away he was up and he's like, he's been banned and he deserves it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can't let that go, kind of brought me up again. And then I came in again, ripped him down again, and then he put his account private and disappeared for a couple of days. I get my main account back, changed it, and I don't know if you noticed, but I changed my profile picture to Gary Rhodes.
I see him.
And this was because
Tate and Lyle.
I'd done a poem about that guy, and I mentioned that he looked like Gary Rhodes.
Right.
So I put the main account back, changed the picture to Gary Rhodes, and then done another wee video of him, just kept it like that for weeks. And then he messaged me, like, can we just call it quits? Can you delete the video? And I was like, right, okay.
That's a shame. But, did you know of an interaction with Ben Shapiro or something?
It wasn't so much an interaction with him. I just took a video of him, and I let his video play, said like 4 or 5 words at the end. We're going back a couple of years now. Said 4 or 5 words, and it just kind of went mental. Whether it went mental because of me or whether it went mental because people want to watch what Ben Shapiro was saying, I'll never know.
Me, that's a badge of honour. Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
No.
No, who is Ben Shapiro? Actually?
He's a prick.
That's it in a nutshell.
Right. Sorry if you get banned there,
that's
Paul,
fine,
but to me it would be a badge of honour. Technically he's a right wing. How would you describe him? He's a right-wing commentator, pro-Republican, pro-Second Amendment, Good guy, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I've just gave mine. Fair play to him.
A very egotistical, far right-wing commentator. Has this high IQ and thinks, I'm brilliant. But he does get ripped apart quite a lot.
A good one to see, actually, if you can YouTube it, is with another right-winger, who was at the BBC, Andrew Neil.
Oh, I've seen it. So good.
Tears him apart.
Tears him to pieces and he ends up unresponsive.
Tears him apart, and that is worth watching.
Aye, brilliant.
But what's going to yourself? Who have you had battles with?
Who am I pals with?
No, who have you had battles with?
Battles with? I don't do battles on.
No, I was going to say that. I must admit,
do you mean just?
Aye,
I don't see if I get
haters.
negative comments. I don't even.
Yes,
I can't get behind this.
Correct.
That's it. It doesn't even happen on my page, like genuinely. And I have honestly had a few people come in on lives and on my posts and try with negative comments. I just ignore them like they're not there. Genuinely, because I think that it then draws more negative people to come in and put negative comments on your shit.
Yep.
Sorry.
No,
so like I'll maybe it does, doesn't it? Because they're like, well, I want to see what's got to reply to me, or I want to see what they've got to reply to me. So I'm like, I'll just reply to positive. Like to see people who are supporting, because people deserve credit more than people who just want to hate on you.
So we may have Doug Kid on tonight, and she's brilliant at destroying people.
Oh, she's so good, man.
Yes.
I love watching it. Don't get me wrong. I love watching it on other people's pages, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to because I could.
Aye, and
Probably.
get you down in that.
Yeah,
again.
because you.
I could bring them down as well a wee bit. You're saying you go quite deep. Well, that's why I stay away from it. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah.
No, like him.
No.
You love everybody. That's what I always
yeah.
fall out with you. Oh, you love the whole wide world.
I don't care.
You know what I mean?
And that's
I'll
what
have
I'm
a moment with you and say, "You know," you go, he's a good guy.
And he's just smiling,
He's a
he's
good guy.
smiling away, like
Aye.
positive.
Always finding the good in people.
That
Aye.
positive
And the thing
person.
is that
Which is a great thing. I'm
It's a great
terribly
thing.
jealous of
it's
that.
a great
I
thing,
suppose.
but it's like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they can grind you down.
Yeah.
But if you, as soon as you join that race or that
That's it.
argument,
I
or
know.
you start using those words, you become that.
That's it.
So I like to be trying. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certain people that we can't talk to, and certain guys that I would like to kick up the.
I suppose it's true, but a lot of people you often hear, I don't care anymore, or they'll say they don't care. I don't care what the haters say and all that, but
Aye, they do.
I think everybody cares.
Of course
don't
they do.
Deep down, everybody cares.
Eventually, depending on your mood that day.
Yeah.
I would
I care
definitely
enough
say.
to go as deep into their lives as I can. And
Aye, exactly. That's
Spend 2-3
it.
days on it.
See, like, it
Go
doesn't
like
affect
you.
me. It doesn't affect me on like on an emotional level. It
Yeah.
just affects me, and if I don't respond to it, they're going to have one up in me.
Aye.
And I'm a sucker for the last word.
Yeah.
Right, so just give me it and call
Aye.
it quits at that.
Go on, you leave it.
Just let me have the last word, and that's it. Just
I
don't.
like how you go deep into people's lives. Maybe
Ah.
you should be in the special branch or something. CIA.
I had when I announced I was leaving, I put up my Insta. I was like, follow me on Insta, and people came and followed me and whatever. And this woman came on and she's DM'd me on Insta, and she's like, hi, I don't know if you remembered me. She's like, you ripped my ex-husband apart. And I was like, I can remember her face. And I was like, oh, I remember that. It was a guy for Air. She's like, well, Ayrshire. And she's like, I was like, that was about 2.5 years ago. And she's like, oh, it was brilliant. just remember it. I can vaguely remember the video because he'd called me bald. Didn't have his face in his profile.
One of the user 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Aye, but I went down his list and I'd found out like the first 3-4 people that had followed him and he'd followed them, and they had this second name. I was like, I'll just find out who it is, and I found out who it was, and he was a bald guy like me, and I was like, right, okay, here we go.
Aye, and he's probably just been
Just kind of
banter.
tore him apart, man. It was
Aye.
brilliant. And I never heard from him again, and then it was like his ex-wife came on, she's like, that's my ex-husband, and then it was I think it must have been like his daughter or his stepdaughter or something come on. She's like, starts tagging her brothers and sisters, and I was like, great, man.
Can I just ask, how much preparation do you put into like your TikTok, especially yours?
See, I've only just started getting back into TikTok again
Yeah.
because I had a few mental health issues myself there for a wee while. So I'd came away from it, my heart wasn't in it, like I said, and I could see that in my videos. So if you look kind of back on my page, some of them take a wee bit of effort, like wee sketch ones, like mental health ones or that.
Yeah.
They take a wee bit more time, but sometimes it's like, just, there it is.
Because as you said, that your stuff's really, really
I've not
tight.
been live for ages. That's the
you
first
know,
time I've been live in ages as well.
Your stuff is really tight, and I think I would be like for an hour in front of the mirror before I go, right, here we go.
See, a lot of
You know
people
what I mean?
say that, but I honestly can't say. Like, it's I think you can either date or you can't. Eh? Like,
Aye.
I genuinely don't think that. It's just, I don't know. I just
think
done
it takes. I think it takes. I think you were talking about it in the last episode. You were talking about you're quite regimented in an aspect of you will cut it down and then you'll take time on it and then you'll kind of destroy it if you like.
Aye.
Or you'll
My thing is, I try revealing secrets here, right? I try and talk on camera as if I'm saying stuff that's just coming to my head, right? See, I could show you my phone,
Yeah.
and go into my notes, and my notes is just everything that I'm going to say.
right.
I mean, I've got
So it's like a script.
basically,
Yeah.
and like I bring my TikTok up, and then I can thing with my notes to overlay it, and it's just in front of me whilst the camera's on.
Ah, right. So
And I
that's
just,
what you're doing.
and I just speak, and it,
Like a teleprompter.
basically, it's literally just right in
clever.
front of me.
That's
And then I
really
say it,
clever.
but I try and say it as if it's coming across naturally. It's not as if it's still me saying it.
Well, it's
me
still
that's-
natural.
It's still me that's
Aye.
come up with everything
Aye.
it's going to say, but it stops me having to keep reading what I'm saying, because I have all the stuff in my head anyway. I can be at work all day. Somebody says something to me, and I'll be in work all day just thinking of stuff that I can reply.
Right.
And it's like, for me, 99% of the time it has to be funny.
Right.
but also has to be a joke I've never used before. And these are hard. See, when you're replying to these faceless users,
Yeah.
it's hard to find something to slag them for that you've not used 100 times before, and you just try and figure it out, and then throughout the day I'll be like, that was funny, so I'll write that in my notes, and then I'll take all my wee notes and I'll write it onto like a full script, and then write
You
it out.
need to get somebody in the corner, see when like the Bob Dylan cards. Johnny's in the basement. Corner reflection.
No,
But
that doesn't happen all the time. That won't happen. A lot of time I'll just be like, you said something, boom, right on, reply straight away, and just say what comes to my head and spout, and then
Right.
go away and not look at TikTok for an hour and come back.
So I think, just looking, I think both of you, of everybody, I think you should do the mental health stuff with the Green Sunrise. It's part of Green Sunrise, but you should do it yourself.
Aye.
As in, you can actually help people by, if you were to look into the mental health stuff, you would be like that. To go to, if there's a certain situation that's into somebody's life, you'd be like, well, this is the answer.
Aye.
Because you have got the answer.
Aye.
So have you. You're
I've
brilliant
got-
at it.
I've got the answers
But
for
it's just,
everything.
aye, but you could be, but if you were to do like the coursework and all that kind of stuff and put the stud in for that, mate, and that's what I'm saying, you're saving lives. I believe anybody that does TikTok and like yourselves, they're saving lives. We spoke about Paul John Dyke spoke about it. He says you're making communication with people through comments, right? And like they're saying to you, oh, by the way, that was amazing. But you've brought this thing into this world. You've now given me something to do, and then he's joined a conversation with him. So you always reply,
Aye.
and that's important because somebody's texting. It's always a case of they text and like, they'll never get back to me.
Aye.
When really they're just looking for somebody to talk to.
Aye.
That's a big thing,
Even
by the way,
DMs,
right?
It really, really is.
my DMs are wild, man, and
It
see,
can get
trying to-
overwhelming sometimes.
Oh, of course it would.
Like-
Yeah.
between TikTok and Insta, my DMs never stop. See if anybody's sitting next to me, my phone's on loud, I'll be like, going to put that on silent. Yeah, it's just constant DMs. And when I said I was quitting, see the amount of people that come into my DMs, going to no leave, and it's like, you help with my mental health.
Yeah.
And,
Correct.
And
I totally agree with that.
show
I
them,
totally agree with that.
and it's straight away, it was like that guilt, like
Yeah.
these people, not so much relying on you, but using you as something, as a break from their reality.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
So I think, do you know what it is? I think you just need a holiday, mate.
It could be because
maybe,
but
but it'll need to be a long holiday.
I'll tell you
Make
why.
it a long holiday,
Most people after a football game, a Glasgow derby, will say, "I'll maybe go on to Sky on the Monday, or I'll go to BBC, or I'll go to Radio Clyde." I go, TikTok, WeeWido.
Aye.
I hear what you say.
Because that's a new medium for people trying to find out information, and also to give themselves a break from the box, if you like, or the normal stuff that we normally do. And I think you just need a holiday, mate. Just take a holiday and then come back
That's
stronger.
everybody saying that, but in my head, man, it's like at least a year I need to be.
Take a year.
At least a year.
Take a year.
See for yourself, Liam, when you were talking about TikTok and mental health, because obviously we need to touch on like algorithms, but for me it's
That's
more
nice,
about, how things are generated and what attracts people. And but really talk a wee bit more about what did it specifically do for your mental health? What do you feel after you've done a video?
After I've done a video.
Aye, do you feel released or liberated? Is it like
Well,
a lot of
it
people say going to the
depends,
gym helps them, right? Going to the gym and releases endorphins.
Here's a
See,
thing as
I
well,
can get
Leanne.
a lot of feelings out there that I can't speak.
Here's the
Do,
thing.
do you
before
get what I mean? Like, see, when you talk about
Here's the
something,
thing
so
I'll tell
like,
you. See, when I was doing lives, after doing lives for, if it was Facebook or whatever, or Instagram or not so much TikTok, but that's new. After I'd done a live, I would feel gutted. I would like, oh man, what have I done? It would all be a case of, I had a fear of what I'd said, even though there was nothing wrong.
right.
Because you think you've said something wrong, but you're like it.
I don't care. Like, it's
That's
real
a
life,
buyer's
isn't it?
remorse
Like,
spot, isn't it?
it's real life. Like, I think you can tell if you're
So straight, as soon as you come off doing a
I've been
wee
a live
video,
drunk. I've made a fool of myself.
I've done that,
but-
aye.
and I still went back on. I don't care. We all do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right? So you don't care of the mistakes. I mean, that's good. No,
I
that's
really
good.
don't,
Is that
because
a positive
I
for
really
you?
like watching people who are like that as well.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
natural.
mean? And then I get fed up watching anybody who's like quite scripted or or staged them. Sorry, that's not what I meant. Like, no.
But you don't come across as scripted.
You don't come
that's
across
the
as
skill.
scripted, exactly. That's not what I mean. But do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know exactly what you mean.
Obviously, within reason, there'd be certain things that you'd be like, shouldn't have said that or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. It's out there exactly, and I think people like that.
So how has that helped your mental health then?
Yeah.
Well, it helped me escape for a lot of stuff. I educated a lot. I connected with a lot of people who were in a similar mindset to me as well, which I had struggled with in real life. Do you know what I mean? Like connecting with people who have got similar mental health with me, like BPD, and you know, who have been through like similar things that I've been, like, for instance, the relationship and things that I'd went through. So because I could connect, I had women helping me, but then at the same time I was helping other women. So I was getting videos.
So my naivety here was BPD.
Borderline personality disorder.
All right.
So yeah, that's a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, you've spoken about that. I mean, you spoke about that because obviously when you were dealing with it at the time, obviously I've been pals with Leanne for a couple of years
Good
now.
few years now, aye.
In fact, since the James McCourt, we went to James McCourt seminar. We've just became pals ever since then. But so I've known a wee tiny bit about it. So I 100% know what you mean.
That's something I'll have to look up. I've no idea.
Well,
I've never even heard
I was
of that.
diagnosed with PTSD as well, and that was obviously a result from the relationship that I was in. So obviously there is a lot of struggles, not just depression, anxiety. There's like other actual mental illnesses, because we've all got mental health, haven't we?
Everybody has.
So do you know what I mean?
Everybody has, and it's about trying to just generate.
To split it, exactly.
And I think,
what
that's like an important thing as well, as you say, when you're going through these things and then you do talk about it openly, and then you find out, because no matter what you go through, when something negative happens to you, you always feel like you're the only one. Until you speak about it and you find out there's loads of people going through this.
Yeah.
And when you all connect and you understand things and you realise how similar your experiences are.
Aye, definitely.
And
that's what I'm
But
saying.
you're
I
also,
connected with people.
but you're like as if you're building a team.
Aye, that's exactly it.
That's the Brother Joe Curry one, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's big on the connection and but you know, everything is about you know, he gets so excited by this that what I would call the karma thing, how the world just all seems to interlink and
energy and connection.
you mean people. I mean, we're talking about like yourselves on TikTok, and you just mentioned there about you've met people, shared experiences, and people. I mean, your podcast, what you've generated, and the people that. No, you've met. It's just
Mate, it's unbelievable.
the connections.
Always talk about the synchronicity of things, and David Keenan hit on it with Joe, didn't he? And it was a case of he talks about it like it's magic, and in a sense it is magic.
It honestly is. I love all that, like the energy stuff and that, and vibrations.
Aye,
connection. All that.
Brilliant. Right, so section 2, right? We're going to talk about TikTok's algorithms, right? What is it? What is algorithms? To be fair, people always speak about algorithms and that. But it's the algorithm, and I'm clueless. I'm literally clueless. I've had to take a couple of days of research on what algorithms are and all that kind of jazz. But for yous, what are algorithms? Who would like to kick off? What is algorithms for TikTok's algorithms? What would you say it is?
See, for me, not even just when I hear things like that, it's not just TikTok's algorithms, Google's algorithms.
Yep.
To me, it's just about, if you were being a bit fatalistic, it's about targeting people.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier on, everyone's got a good side, everyone's got a positive side, right? I was, funnily enough, listening to a podcast about AI, artificial intelligence. There's a Silicon Valley guy on who was so positive on it, talking about how he plans his life, how he plans his business, you know, on these different sites, talking about how everything is going to be, you know, curing cancer, he actually predicted. Whereas another guy on, not so much a Ben Shapiro type, probably a wee bit more your Tucker Carlson type, who's like, this is nuclear war, this is the end of the world. The whole algorithm thing for me, and with that is, you know, artificial intelligence at the moment. You get George Harrison singing Imagine, so it's nothing. But for me, it's something will pop up on your, especially your phone, and it's like, why am I getting that?
Aye.
Why am I getting that? And
So
I
it's
get
looking-
alarmed at all that. I do.
Aye,
I
so-
get alarmed at when we get the wee text for the government. Did everybody get that?
Aye.
And I'm not coming from a conspiracy point of view here. Nothing at all. It's just how. But the whole world is going to change. What Why do you need to have letters coming through your door to say go to Farm Foods when obviously the whole algorithm, the whole AI, the whole network of the world is going to change.
I wished we'd Ian in for this.
Oh man,
Ian would have loved this one if he'd have been all over this.
Oh,
Ian would have been all over this.
one time,
Ian,
man.
do you know Ian? Yeah.
No.
Baramu.
Loves a good
Baramu
conspiracy.
podcast. Boy, he was in my first couple of episodes.
Longer hair.
Ginger.
Aye,
wonderful
I don't know what you're
Jesus.
talking about.
Wonderful guy.
Aye, I don't know how you're
And clear evidence that you can be total opposites than what somebody believes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
but
aye.
still think the actual world of him. He's a
Oh,
fantastic
he's
guy.
brilliant.
Aye.
And he's good.
He's in the far right end of the pitch. I'm in the far left of the pitch. You know,
I'm
but-
through the middle. I don't know who to pass to.
But aye, that's it.
Aye,
We
'cause-
play football. Don't know how he pass.
He's it's my ball. So what do you think of algorithms? What's algorithms to you? What do you, in a positive sense?
And don't know if there's a positive sense.
Because I think there's plenty of positives.
There is because let's look at it from a TikTok point of view.
Yep.
As somebody who not somebody who creates content, but somebody who browses TikTok. See if you join TikTok, within a day, maybe 2 days, TikTok knows the videos you want to watch. That to me is utterly mental. Even though sometimes I'll watch a video and watch 10-15 seconds of it. Might have liked it, but I've got ADHD, so that gets right, next one.
Right, so you're a die.
And it's within a couple of days it knows who you are. And every new account I start, within a couple of days I'm back to seeing all the same stuff in my FYPs what I was seeing before. And it just
So it knows.
obviously
Obviously,
It's
aye.
about the time you spend on watching the video. It's not even just about how you like. If you've paused for a second when watching that video, it shows that you've got a slight interest
Aye.
in that what you've just
why
watched.
else would you have watched it
Exactly.
as far as you did?
As far as you did, because normally you'd just be like that, wouldn't you? I think it has got positives and
Aye.
negatives.
Aye, positives. But you're right. It's freaky how that it's like.
Aye.
So
But it's so clever and it's only getting better and better and better and better.
It's
Better in the sense that it's connecting you quicker to what it is you wanted to see before. And this would probably happen with everything, but I think TikTok, because of what it is you're doing, and before you know it, your FYP is just everything you usually watch, and then a couple of new things to see if maybe you like this, maybe you like this, maybe you
What
like
is your
this.
FY?
For you page.
For you
So that's a
page.
page that's made for you.
That's part, I think section
Right.
5 or section 4 that we're going to cover today is for your page.
As a content creator, the algorithm on TikTok, I don't think anybody gets it. And there's people out there who claim to be TikTok.
So what I would say beyond that, so I was watching YouTube about what it is, obviously, so doing research on it, and they were saying that, so the algorithms they were talking about doing these tests, right, that were people, and I don't know who the tests were for, but they were showing you these different people, and they were showing you the tests that were running, that were the things that were going to their page, and they're talking about stuff like, if somebody was down, right, and they were so if you go into YouTube and you're looking for trying to get out of depression or something like that, right, or just one of those clips, and you've hit a keyword, so they would then zoom in and go, all right, let's send this person stuff to bring them up,
Aye.
right? So that to me is amazing, but I don't know how far it can go, and I don't know if you believe.
And does
Yeah,
it,
I think sometimes it can
does
keep
then-
you in a depression because.
But that's what I was going to say. Does
No.
it then go the opposite way?
Aye, exactly.
Once you're up, does
So
it want
is
to
that
bring
what
you?
happens?
if you're
I don't
being
know.
fed it,
I
like,
don't, I'm not sure.
That's an excellent point, because
Does
how
it
many
want to bring you
times
back?
you've seen
Does
that?
it want to bring you back down?
You know?
So it can then
So it's
bring
keeping
you back up again.
So it's keeping you scrolling.
Aye. So it brings you. In my head, this is how I imagine it would be. Brings you up so far, and go right. He's stopped watching these. Let's bring him back down again. And then when he gets so far again, we'll bring him back up so that he keeps using our content, and he's always on
I mean, I remember
our social media.
I remember the poor man, his daughter had killed herself, and committed suicide, and she was like self-harming, but it was through social media that, you know, she was going into all the different self-harm videos, self-harm helps, whatever, you know, YouTube and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got an algorithm and somebody's constantly always going into, you know, self-harm, or somebody's going into, you know, anything, suicide, you know, bomb making, you know, does that then keep generating people in the same mindset? Can people
I would say
delve
so,
into that and
because you
get
just
more
keep
and more
feeling
obsessed?
that bad feeling as well, like and keeping you there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got nothing positive showing up. That's what I was going to say about that. Like, because I've noticed the difference when I'm on TikTok and I'm feeling quite positive and good, and when I'm not, because my For You page completely changes.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I realised that, I was like, no wonder I've been in this slump for as long as I've been. That's the stuff I'm listening
That
to.
explains why I just keep getting videos of Guinness and Red Wine.
Well, that'll be it. So like now my news, like my For You page is quite positive. But when I wasn't feeling great, it was quite,
So is there?
I wouldn't say negative, but it was all mental health. And while I love mental health and like I like educating myself on mental health to get better or whatever, it's not something that you want to hear all the time.
Yeah, that's what
To get you out of it. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of it with mental health is so doom and gloom. It's unreal. There's, I'd say about 80-90% of people that talk about mental health talk about it as if it's just this big sad thing.
I know.
They never talk of the positive aspects and how you need to keep doing certain things to keep yourself going and being positive. It's very rarely spoke about. And when you do find these people who do talk about it, it's enlightening.
It's funny you say that. So West End Wendy, pal West End Wendy, who I've not spoken to in ages, actually made contact with her today, and we're going to meet up for a coffee. But she was talking about when I was giving all the mental health chat, right, like the mental health advocate, if you like. She said, no, it should be you should look at it as you're a welfare warrior, right? And that's a change of words, I suppose, right? So maybe changing the words. I mean, mental health isn't always negative, right? We know it's positive as well.
Yeah.
So maybe just changing certain words at certain times would change it for certain people. So I wonder, my question for the phones are, if you, because you said if you made a new account, they know, right? The algorithm knows who you are and they'll send you certain things, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way around that? As in, I was talking to my mate Rick, my Elvis, he was talking about, he said, you can actually delete all your followers and still go live. Now you need, so if you're going to go live in TikTok, for example, you need 800 people in the GB.
I think it is.
It's 1,000 to 1,000 in America, I think it's 800. Might have changed. To go live, you needed 800 followers, right? I said, but as soon as you got those followers, Elvis was saying, why don't you can delete all your followers. He said that's what he does. He deletes all his followers and still go live. But I don't know what the reason for that would be. Would it clear up your FYP? Would it clear up your algorithm? Would it change it in any way?
I think it just,
Because of the people that you're following? So I don't know if that...
I think it just seems silly.
No, actually, that makes sense.
We'll tell Rick that. We'll tell Elvis that's why Elvis, you're silly. But I'm trying to work out why you would do that. I guarantee you shouting at the screen now, he'd be like, no, this is why I do it. So I'm just wondering why somebody else would do that. And it's just, maybe that clears up your, I don't know, the TikTok's algorithm based on what you're doing. But again, if it knows what you're doing, I take it the algorithms get you from, it's not just TikTok, it's just what you're doing on your phone.
Who knows?
For everything.
As far as I'm aware, it's just from the videos you watch on TikTok. But I could be way off.
Oh, is it just for TikTok?
I just thought it would be like Google's watching you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think it is. I think
I would say so. Definitely.
it's the same as they used to do the marketing. I mean, they used to have, way back, it used to be a different sort of band for whatever area people, lived in, so certain, marketing companies would, market certain areas and hit them with, are they getting the Waitrose catalogue or are they getting the Aldi one? Just to try and be as basic I can. So I suppose it's just a technological version of that. It's just technology, I think, is a more faceless, for me anyway, more faceless. It's a wee bit, not more frightening, but you're a bit more sceptical because you've not got the guy, I suppose in the old days, the guy in the television advert try to sell you either, Perso or
Daz or
something, the doorstep challenge. Right? You don't have that anymore. It's because you're going to watch a video of washing powder. Are you just going to get inundated with videos of washing powder?
No, we're all sitting here with our phones. Everybody, by the time we leave here, we'll all have washing powder adverts now.
Do you know what? Exactly. Every time you talk about something, honestly.
I don't even like Guinness.
I know. It won't be Guinness.
That's my favourite. There's somebody on Instagram, and that's what she does. That's her page. Girls drink Guinness. So I'm going to get a plug, and
just reminds me of that lassie for still game, that hang for still game. Pint of Guinness.
Big bridal drinks Guinness.
Right, so we're going to go to segment 3, right? Mental health challenges on TikTok. Now we're doing that right now. So I suppose it's just delving in a bit deeper to, I suppose, let me just see the challenges faced on TikTok. So let's talk about the challenges faced on TikTok. So I'm trying to come up with something that a challenge that TikTok gives you. Is there any challenges that we have on TikTok? Is it just the fact that you don't want to follow it with everybody, or is it the fact that you're always going to have that challenge, whereas there's always going to be somebody who says something negative?
Mm-hmm.
Trolls.
Aye.
Right, so trolls are a challenge, right?
A fake accounts. Your dog kid's always getting somebody who's got a fake account.
Stalkers.
What is that all about?
Aye, she's always got stalkers, isn't she?
So have you, haven't you?
Aye.
Well, you've had a few trolls.
I get the odd troll.
Once you've got a stalker, you've made it. Is that?
Aye, that's it.
You know what I mean?
You've made
Gallagher
it.
said that. He's like, I've got £5 million in the bank, I've got 2 stalkers. That's me.
Well, to be fair, he was walking
I'm only £5 million away then.
he was walking about work like that.
Seriously?
No, it wasn't. There was one guy, wasn't there?
There was one guy. It's just there was never any fear. But that was when I started back, and I mean like the first time I showed my face back, because the account I'd started back on, I was posting videos that didn't have me in it. The account name wasn't connected to me in any way. I was just posting me videos here and there, and then I eventually showed my face. First video, guy comes on. Did I speak about it the last time? I don't know. And it was basically, and he's went, I knew when I seen you on site, because I work on building sites.
That's true, was I?
I knew when I seen you on site before I should have lamped you. I'll make sure I do it the next time.
Aye.
And it was just like, so, but this guy didn't have a face.
He doesn't know who
So
it
you
is.
don't know who it is.
So it could be anybody.
And
Very
so I
scary.
had 2 options: delete it, ignore it, never find out who the guy is, or take it, respond to it, get views, get more followers, and still don't know who the guy is. Either way, I don't know who he is, and I'm just going to. So I was just like, I'll just respond. Responded, video done well. Never heard from the guy since.
Aye.
Because you never know when to take it seriously,
Aye,
though, eh?
because-
Because you don't know.
Oh, I've like that's. See, to be fair, if you were to list it in comments or messages that I've had, that's way down in this year. I've had death threats and everything. It's
What is wrong with people? I mean,
People
really?
don't like it when
But
you're
chill,
just
but I
taking your
think-
hang
I use the term
Right.
death threats. So it's like just people messaging me saying,
Oh,
but I
God.
if I see you,
yeah.
I'll kill you. I mean,
Aye, that hang I would constitute a death threat.
it sounds like one.
Legally, sounds
Yeah,
like
but
one
It
anyway.
sounds like one.
I bet is it really?
Is that?
But is it really?
Is
But
it
again, every single person that I've met when I've been out and about has been nothing but nice. I've never had one person come up, say anything to me negative or anything. They've always been up, oh, how you doing? Seen your video, seen this, seen that. Oh, you might be one of them, but you're all right. And it's like,
How does it affect your relationships? That's quite interesting because obviously, being on TikTok,
time consuming.
Well, I think there's a lot.
Does it, your partners,
I've been
kids,
single
anything
through
like that?
my TikTok.
I know,
journey.
I-
I've been single through my TikTok because
No problem in mine.
well, do you think that
I think that's probably
had
aye.
impact?
Oh, aye.
Oh, but definitely, I think.
Let's be
like,
honest, Leanne. I think, in my opinion, I'm on TikTok because I've not got a bird.
I'm on TikTok because I've not got a man.
Think about it, yeah, but then again, but you've got a nice missus and you're on TikTok and you've made you're kind of making.
Well, you're a welfare warrior.
Sorry, welfare warrior.
Well done.
That minds up my
Welfare banker.
welfare banker. Did you say? I've got names, but aye. Sorry, I've misplaced. What were we talking about?
You've lost the thread.
I've lost
You're
my
talking about
thread.
how
Does it affect my
you've got a
relationship?
How does it affect?
Does it affect your relationship? Not just, being single, but I'm talking about,
Like a bit
kids,
of jealousy and things, yeah,
relatives.
or just
No, I don't.
Anyway.
In my experience, no, really, no. Like, other than
I think it's because you're so good on it, but
maybe
you're so good, man.
why be modest? Nah, I don't think, like, other than the thing that probably annoys her is she'll want to do something. She'll be like, right, let's do such and such, and I'll be like, right, well, 2 minutes to make this video. It doesn't take me 2 minutes to make a video, so she's probably just like,
So it's three
But
days.
she's on TikTok as well, right? So she's never spoke on TikTok. She's one of them, right? She's just
Right, aye.
daffy videos. So it's like it doesn't affect. I don't think I've ever seen her make a TikTok. Right? And she's made loads, and she's got like, I don't know, 12,000 followers or.
Aye, she's
something
got a
like-
few, man.
She's made loads. I don't think I've ever seen her make one. Whereas I just make them where I'm.
I
on
think
the
she's
spot.
got, but she's probably got them through you. There's WeeWido, but
Most of our recent ones have been people. Oh, your missus lovely, and then the ladder, and she does get a lot
aye,
of that.
because that's how I did her. I
Aye.
didn't know, so I've just done it. Oh, it's just simple, just boom.
I think if somebody says, and this is a tip MD wants to do it, get me off this. If somebody says, I'm going to kill you, right? I think even my wife, I'm kidding, don't darn. Even my wife would be saying, right, end that. That would, she'd be really worried, really concerned. Yeah. Kids as well, they'd be like, nah, end of.
no.
Nah, she was. I don't know.
It's different. I suppose different. It's horses for courses.
I probably 90% of the time I wouldn't even tell her that somebody said that to me anyway, because she does. Like my wife is really bad with anxiety and stuff like that, so it's something unless she's seen it. If I've opened my phone and she's seen it, then I would probably never mention it. But usually I'll share them and I'll sit there laughing for ages, man. Like, we even met today with it. Like, I'm not going to leave the app. Well, I'm new, but at that point, I'm not going to leave.
A wild ship.
And do I respond to them or do I just go? So usually I just aside, or sometimes I'll just respond with one thing and then never ever get a response back from them. It's just,
Do you get,
I know, you could
do
leave
you
the
get the
app
wee
and
fire?
it could be a wee 12-year-old commenting things like that. Do you know what I mean? And you've
Do you get the
completely
wee
left
fire
an app.
emoji? Do you get the wee fire emoji?
Aye.
Oh,
The fire emoji.
So,
a wee fire emoji. Because Emma was my born and
Aye.
I was saying that to you. It was one of the things I was going to say to her. Whenever she's got like the paid partnerships and stuff, so sometimes she'll be on and say, yeah, I got this for and there's always some perv giving a wee fire emoji.
oh, it's terrible on TikTok for that.
For you, I'll give you one, mate.
It's the women, isn't it? It's just,
Fire emojis.
I'll give you one.
Get some fire emojis for the app.
aye, get the fire emojis up.
Get the fire emojis up.
Aye.
I
The
love a wee ego boost, man.
Oh, everybody does, eh?
That's what I do it for. What the ego?
Stroke the ego a wee bit.
I was going to say the addressing the potential risks associated with giving unqualified comments or unqualified advice, so misinformation. So I know that you don't do that because you make sure that what you say is correct.
Yes.
But you're the same as there's none of these that would do any. You don't give unqualified, but you're aware of it, I suppose, aren't you?
Yes.
And that's why you always say, no, whatever I say is.
Aye, I wouldn't come out and say it unless I'd done at the very least the basic minimum research. But usually I go quite right into it and find out, because
That's you being responsible, I think. So
mental health isn't something I've made maybe 2 or 3 videos based around mental health, just mainly based around how I'm feeling at that time. So I don't really go too much into it. But other things I spoke about is good few accounts ago now, it was like COVID, and I used to make sure I had everything because I knew people were going to come back in, and I'd just be like, well, here's the data, here's the facts, blah blah blah, and it was always made sure I had that response ready. Or more recently, got Botox, and
You get Botox?
yes,
Did you?
frozen head.
I've had a wee eye lift before.
And,
Brow lift.
and then I was like, somebody was coming trying to slag me, and I was like, so then I tried to speak about the positives of Botox, right, which is it helps with migraines and all things like this.
Really?
So I knew everything before I wrote it, and then the person came back and says to me, look, you're sitting there trying to educate me when you're sitting giving out misinformation about Botox and how it helps with migraines. And I was just like, right, okay, so here you go, here's my response, and boom, 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 this is what it does.
Aye.
And this is like, it's used at a medical level. It's not just like people who do aesthetics who can do Botox and things like that. It's given out by nurses, doctors. It's there to help people, and
Yep.
But the Botox you get in a hospital isn't any different for the Botox we'll give you going to a salon. It's the exact same.
It's the exact same.
The training these people that you get, that the people in a salon get, is the exact same training as what the nurses get for getting the same thing. There's no difference between them, and it's given in the same place. Getting in the head, or again Botox to reduce sweating and stuff like that.
So they would obviously need to get, I'd imagine they need to get some sort of licence as well.
It's
I didn't
know that. That's great. I didn't know that.
Oh, aye.
And I just learned it off a man, I know.
Eat yourself food tomorrow. There's all my migraines.
Oh,
Get in the National Health, save you a few quid.
I knew this because I get Botox, and like that was like a promotion that I'd got it. Big shout out to VIP Faces, Leanne, amazing.
Oh, Leanne at VIP Faces, well done, aye, of course.
So big shout out to her. So that was all part of a promotion, and then
Hold on, Leanne, do I need it? Do I need any?
Yes.
Leanne.
You didn't even think about that. Yes.
Yes.
The answer's always yes when I'm promoting something. So, and I'd put up, I was like, the whole deal was get the Botox, Missus got her lips done, put up a video,
Aye, of course.
blah blah blah, and that was it. And then, but I knew I'm a guy getting Botox, people are going to come.
No, it's just.
So like, I knew 100% people got in, and I was like, that's 2-3 days worth of content straight away.
It's not that you've gave me a wee bit to I can do my video, not just that segment. WeeWido gets Botox.
Quite a lot of guys do. The last time I got mine done, she says she does a lot of guys.
Right.
Guys just don't like to talk about it.
No,
Here we go, we're doing Botox chatting now. So the stigma with when lassies first started getting Botox, right, in Morgan, way back to the early 2000s, there was a stigma attached to it then. And then now there's lassies get Botox, nobody blinks an eye.
No.
I was going to say nobody raises an eyebrow, but there's a reason for that. So guys obviously get it, and there's still the stigma attached to that. Guys getting Botox and blah blah blah, that's a woman's thing. And I was like, well, why is it a woman's thing? Men have got foreheads and all.
Well, this is it. We've all got the same skin, eh? And that.
I don't want wrinkles because I'm vain. Right, but I don't want wrinkles any less than a woman wants wrinkles. So why would I not get?
See, I don't care, but people actually do at all. I mean, I really don't. With people do with their bodies.
It's your face.
We're sitting here talking about mental health. I mean, I've got 10 tattoos. That's me, I suppose, decorating my body. But it's for me.
It's what makes you happy.
Who cares? Whatever. And I think the world. I mean, to my mind, people should, as long as nobody is doing anybody any harm.
Yeah.
I watched that BBC Question Time one night, and there was all these people all getting upset about transgender people, and yet the cost of living was going through the roof. Food prices were going up, and that's what people were caring about. Really, I mean, yeah, and you're right. You are right, but again, people can, as long as it's helping somebody or somebody wants to get something done with their body,
That's it.
You know what I mean? It's good on you.
That's it. If you want to do something that makes you happy, then for me, I'm going to be nothing but happy for you, because then why would I want you to be miserable?
Exactly.
Right.
It's mental.
If it helps your confidence in that as well,
of course,
boost your confidence.
Paul, don't dye your hair again.
But even when you talk about tattoos, like the stigma that used to be with tattoos for everybody, guys and women, is mental. Like when for instance, I used to work in the Hilton Hotel, and I wasn't allowed any tattoos to be shown. Always had to have long sleeves, and when you work, so I was working at that hotel and it was roasting. It was long sleeves because I had tattoos, and I had an initial on my neck. I think it's this side. No, you need to cover that up. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, you're not allowed tattoos. You're working for one of the biggest hotels in the world. And I'm like, you mental? Like right now, like, well, not next. I'm sure they changed their policy now, but like I want to get a job in the Hilton now because I've got this big thing in my throat, and they were so. That's not how you represent this company. And I'm like, why? It's just a tattoo. Nowadays it's more accepted.
If it's a football team, right?
Aye, that's
or it's, you know.
Something offensive for that.
Yeah, but it's
nowadays everybody's got them.
Well, we're going back a good few years. We're going back when guys were all getting lines in their heads. And they stopped me. I had a line in my hair, right, when I had hair. And they came up to me and maybe my first, second week, they're like, you can't have that in your hair. I'm like, it was in my hair when you gave me an interview.
Aye.
Doesn't it?
Aye.
Like, I can't just stick it back on just because I've got the job. So, like, so what's the script now? Well, you just need to let it grow in and never get it again. I'm like, fine.
Aye.
Like, where do you stand? And there's just so much stigma attached with what people look like. Like if I'm up in a hotel, and for me, I'm there doing the maintenance. If you're coming to fix a broken tile in my bathroom, I couldn't care less what you've got in your body.
Aye.
Fix a bloody tile.
Aye, just do the job.
And do what you want. There's your tip. Cheers, mate.
It doesn't speak for who you are as a person either.
Oh,
Do you know what I
absolutely
mean? Like you can be covered in tattoos. Doesn't mean anything about your personality in any sort of negative way. So
like I forget that's there until somebody mentions it. So it's not as if I'm wanting to go, I've got a tattoo.
everybody's got tattoos these days. So
Aye,
I would think that would be past it now. Because
Yeah.
when I did care work, I had to
Aye.
wear long sleeves as well. Like I couldn't have them on show, and that was care work, working with
Aye.
older people.
Oh, yeah, just helping somebody. Do it.
Exactly.
Can you show your tattoos?
So,
Aye, exactly.
but I think too many people have got too much. They worry too much about what
Other
other people
people.
are doing, and I think a lot of with mental health. I think that worries a lot of people's mental health. Is that some people worry about what other people think, and we mentioned earlier on, or I said, people do care. People do care what people think, no matter what people say. But I think for the sake of other people's mental health, then people should just try and chill out.
Aye.
Worrying about what people have got in their body, how people are calling themselves. I mean, really, I couldn't care less if somebody says to themselves, I want to be called, I want to be considered the penguin from the planet bloody Neptune. No bother, mate. As you say, I've just got you here to change the taps on my sink, batter in, be what you want. Do you know what I mean?
Right, what we'll do is we've got a couple of segments. There's 4 and 5, segment 4 and 5 you like. But what do you want? Do you know what we should do? Do you want to check your comments? See if there's any questions?
Not because what was name?
There's been comments, I've seen them popping up.
Just bring it in. Just
Yeah.
bring it in.
Good idea.
See what's just.
Everybody going that wee baldy.
Exactly.
I've not been live for ages either.
Now, the big thing is,
Right.
does WeeWido
let's see if
have
there's any
any fire
comments.
emojis? And that's
Yeah, no. Just live, people in live. Joined the live. You have taken back the power.
take back your power. I like that.
I know.
Take back your power. Fight
And
your
then we've
power.
got Scottish Gar here. He's a mental health first aider.
Right.
That's what he's said.
Right.
I've
I've never heard of it.
Tell me to befriend me as well. Ask me to befriend Green Sunrise.
Green Sunrise podcast as well. Did I know? I don't know if I tagged you in it.
Oh, don't worry
Did
about
I?
it. It's fine.
I should have actually tagged you. I think
I think you have tagged me. I've no.
Anyway, people come in and say hiya.
How you
Hello.
doing? Hiya.
How you doing?
I
How you
don't know
doing?
how you turn this camera and just say
So hiya.
Hiya, how you doing? Welcome.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Give your questions.
Like and subscribe, is that?
Like,
what
oh,
you're
I,
meant to say?
oh, I
You're
gonna
meant to say
gonna ask you to like,
Oh, I
subscribe.
like and subscribe.
The
No,
Green-
I
the
don't
Green
do all that
Sunrise-
stuff.
Oh,
I
come
just
on.
Ah, sure, you're back
that's all.
Please like and subscribe. Green
That's-
Sunrise
that's what
podcast.
You're smashing
meant to
it.
do.
That's all. I love her, honestly.
Who's that?
This is a girl that she's supported my videos. Like, this is my third TikTok.
Right.
My first
Right.
one was completely
That's
on
right.
its last warning.
Back
Second
up.
one just kept getting complaints.
So what was your, why were you getting last warnings and bans? What were you up to?
Nothing.
No, that's the thing, Brian. It's
Genuinely.
like, it's genuinely.
Like, sometimes it's just like, I don't know, you could just have like a few people that are maybe just reporting your videos or like
It's just
different accounts and stuff,
that are
right?
just
But I
like,
think
like it.
they've changed it a wee
Right.
bit now.
And we spoke about that last time, didn't we? People can just go in and just have a dislike to you and try and get you reported, and
Aye, I don't think it happens as much these days. As I say,
No, it doesn't really. Like,
It used to be. I think I spoke about it. It was like enough reports and they would remove your video for no
yes,
reason.
right.
But I'm pretty sure TikTok have clamped down on how it's done.
TikTok just doesn't like people who don't make it money.
That honestly,
That is exactly
it's,
it.
it's,
Because
it's literally just a big money making scheme now, and that's one of the things
and
that's
I
going
have
to make
to
me fall
say,
out
like
of it.
that TikTok shop makes you spend.
oh, I see. I try and.
Well, it's a TikTok
just
shop. I heard somebody mention that today.
But I'm interested. I'm actually interested in how it works.
What is the TikTok
So
shop? And
you can sell stuff.
Basically, you go and buy. So you buy. So the TikTok shop exists. You buy something off it, and then you promote it. Once you promote it, you earn a percentage off of this thing you're promoting, and it's just people. Let's be honest, talking shit that they like something to make a bit of dough. And it's something that-
over exaggerating how much they love it.
but that's advertising. That's
I
what
know.
all advertising's
Well,
always
it-
been.
it is.
I mean, do you think for a minute, as Jamie Carragher said to the boy Jamie Redknapp, there is no way you wear these Skechers? You know what I mean? But he's on the Skechers advert and all that. Oh, brilliant trainers.
That's
and all
pretty
that.
much it. It's like,
You know?
like the one it was easy kind of when the TikTok shop started was the shower head, and I remember sitting people and going that they're making it look good. They're making the shower head look amazing. I bet you it is fucking shite. And they're like, no, it looks good. Look at the power in it. And I was like, I'm buying it. And it was like stoning, and now that rain it just soaks you through. And it's true, it was just horrible. I was like, this isn't how I want a shower to be, man.
I remember saying that all the time. Actually, I was like, that looks amazing. I might.
It's not. So it felt so cheap, and I was like, bin straight away.
So I'm going to say to the St James Gate Arthur Guinness Brewery,
Right.
everybody buy Guinness. And go to Green Sunrise Podcast.
Aye, they want to
I'll give you my
sponsor us.
address. My sponsor is. I'll just send some free cans.
Beyond Entertainment is sponsoring today again, by the way, boys. So thank you very much to Beyond Entertainments. But I'm still looking for sponsors that can do over the thing. But again, with me and you spoke about this, we need to
Try
try and
to do it,
contact.
yeah,
So if there's any sponsors out there, and you want to contact Green Sunrise Podcast, and you want to sponsor the show, go for it. It's all about getting the name out there as
Or
well.
if anybody has got a function coming up, a wedding, then Beyond Entertainment,
Entertainment's-
outstanding.
So we need to get Stevie in. Do you know if somebody's getting married?
No.
No, do you know?
I was just thinking, like, but it would have heard.
Flowers, who's that
Yeah,
florist in Bishop
And there's a Oops a Daisy.
Oops a Daisy.
Well, actually, she's one of my top. Aye,
Definitely,
She's-
this is a florist. They're the best,
They're the best.
florist in probably the entire universe. Unbelievable.
That's that ad.
well, Bishop Briggs
Is that
anyway.
you advertising?
Well, I better because I'm married to the owner, so
He's like the best one.
Aye, so a big shout out to Oops a Daisy. But yeah, so let's go to section 4. Section 4 is, or segment 4, coping strategies and self-care on TikTok. Do you have any coping strategies or self-care? Well, you've kind of spoke about your...
My coping strategies, I don't know so much. I make sure I have, sound like control, I can have complete control over everything that comes in my comment section. Every one of my comments are filtered.
Are they?
Nothing gets through without me seeing it first.
how do you do that?
I didn't know that.
You just go in, there's just a wee
There's a setting.
setting for you to filter your comments. Every comment I get is filtered. So if somebody says something and I'm like, I'm not even putting that out there, then it doesn't go out. And people can like that or hate it or no, but it keeps me in control and it stops my comment section going wild.
See, the other night I was winding up this guy who was doing one for his football team. And it's not my football team of choice. And I just kept, when it was Tuesday night,
Tuesday night.
I was actually
just were playing
late,
the
you outside waiting to pick me up, and I just kept hammering this guy, right?
Oh,
Just
so
kept
that's
hammering,
it,
and he just kept shouting, "Where's the moderator? Where's the moderator?" I had no idea, but he was just wanting me off. Where's the moderator? Where's my moderator? Is that?
Lives are different from, but it's one of the reasons I never go live is because you still have a certain amount of control over it, but you have less control over what gets put up and put out. And that for me is just like, I need to have complete control over everything that comes in and everything that goes out. To me, it does sound a bit like, I don't know.
Well, it's similar to you saying, it's similar to WeeLee saying, well, I just don't respond to negative.
Oh, when I'm live, I do.
Aye, but what I'm
Like,
saying is,
I'll say it,
and that's
obviously,
why
if
you don't do live, right? I get it, right?
like,
Aye, but at the same
I'll
time,
do it
right,
on
aye.
live, and it's quite fun. Like, obviously, to do it then, but on comments and things like that, or replying to comments, I won't. But if I'm going live, it's different, because obviously going live, people get to see a wee bit more of me. Like,
Right.
do you know what I mean? Because a lot of my videos are more like voiceovers or
Aye,
mental
yeah,
health
yeah.
ones, or like
But you'll
stuff
not
like
be able
that.
to do that now. You'll need to talk. You'll need
Well, before when I first met Paul, it was I'd done the life coaching Hunter,
Yeah.
and I'd studied CBT as well,
Right.
and I was doing the videos, and that's how I met Paul. It was mental health videos I was doing,
Right.
and then my mental health took the worst turn over the last few years.
That's
that
right.
I felt I had to work on myself before I could help anybody
You'll
else.
need to talk
Do you
about
get me?
the life coaching a bit more, because you're always hammering on that.
Aye.
Always hammering on
Aye.
the life coaching.
The life coaching I'd done, we'd done it a wee bit after you, I think I'd done it after you, and
I think Duckheed does the life coaching.
aye,
as well,
Duckheed does as well.
Oh, does she?
Aye,
I
Duckheed
didn't
does as
know
well. And it's surprising because
Aye.
the way she comes across, you would think, oh, she's just having banter. But she's actually similar to you. She's trying to come from it, and she'll take a negative comment and try and turn it into a positive, or she'll take a line it and take the piss if you
Take
like.
a sad song and make it better,
That's it.
as somebody once said.
Correct. So a big shout out to Duckheed, innit? Duckheed was meant to come in. It would have been good to have Duckheed, but as well as Emma Cassidy, it'd have been good to have. It was going to be a full team. It's going to be 6 the other day.
Yeah.
But Leanne came in as well, and but you were in anyway. You were coming in anyway. Nicola Taylor was meant to come in today, but she was too busy.
But we were lucky we got our favourite too.
Yes. Again, I don't know. Isn't it 1, 2 or 3? Right, there is funny stuff back.
I like how you do know that if it was the other two, we'd be like, we got our favourite too.
Obviously. That's that false advertising.
Right, highlighting the positive aspect of TikTok. I know we're kind of discussing everything, but which have been, tell me something that's happened that's been really good for. I mean, you've spoken about it, Brian, that you can actually interact with people and you can get a bit of banter. At the same time, you can
think
get
it's
something.
great that Leanne said it helped her with her mental health, you know. And I
Right.
think the other thing is about bringing people together through.
It kind of, see, to be honest, being honest,
Yeah,
it made me look
positives.
in on myself a lot more as well.
What did you learn
in
about
on-
yourself?
in myself. I'd learnt a lot of my behaviour patterns and stuff, and just kind of went, and you know, like obviously, if I don't know if you have ever been like you repeat this cycle over and over again, your life just
Right.
goes this same route. You kind of need to look in on yourself and be like, well, why does this keep happening? Like, I'm not getting any different results. And then obviously I would come across videos that would explain me a wee bit more, and then that's how I started to discover a lot more about myself. And the more that I did do that, the more it helped me, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can kind of, like I said, filter and pick and choose what you want to like watch and
Yeah.
things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, educate yourself on.
Yeah. It's positives for you. You must have followed.
You must have got some really good positive responses, feedbacks, things that made you feel
as I
great.
said, my DMs, death threats aside, are usually all positive. But my comments are 90% positive. I just sit and pick out the negative ones for a bit of fun. Over the years that I've done it, when I've been one genre and switched to the next and switched to the next, I've connected with people who, like people who are connected with in the first kind of 2-3 months of being on TikTok, I'm still pals with them now. Still in a group chat together. We're still really friendly. And then other people like I'm an idiot. People message me and I'll be like, look, there's my phone. I'll just give everybody my phone number. Just take it. Just message me at any time and connect with loads of people. And for me, like that's good. For them, look, if people want to talk to me anytime. And for me, because I like just talking to other people and being away for this daft wee guy who's just got an answer for everything on a video. That for me is connecting with people that you would otherwise never have connected with unless you've done it. Because I've never met any of these people, especially when they're at different ends of the country. Like, I've even got people who message me for Ireland. I've got a lassie who DMs me. She's from Montreal and she talks to me all the time.
That's amazing. That's magic. That's what I was talking about. It's like the punk rock thing where
it's people you would never ever have connected with in any other format, whatever I was doing. Because
it's crazy the people you can connect with, the way that you wouldn't think that you would connect with, like through social medias. Most of my followings are American.
Aye.
Mostly American, aye.
That's...
And mostly female as well.
Aye.
Because you can obviously
obviously because of the stuff that you cover.
So these Americans will be saying, why is he slagging Ben Shapiro? We love Ben Shapiro.
I think I put a voiceover for Kevin Bridges, and honestly, it didn't get. And I thought, that's because they're not Americans. I don't even know what's going on. So I had to think about that. Obviously, when I was targeting and the audience that's on my TikTok, I'm thinking they probably didn't know what the hell that was saying there.
Right. One of my other accounts was all Americans as well, and that was because of the Ben Shapiro thing. And then on the back end of that, I done a Donald Trump one as well that went kind of big, and I don't even remember what it was. And with that, obviously Trump was obviously president at the time. And that brought a ton of hate. And this was before I started doing the response videos. That was kind of the beginning of it. And,
have you been on to that Truth Social? Is it Truth Social or something?
No, I've never been on it. But
I'd love to go on it just to have a look and to have a go at it.
I want to, but at the same time I don't.
Exactly.
I'd end up on it.
So what's Truth Social?
That's Donald Trump's Twitter, isn't it?
Is that his? Right, okay, right, sorry.
Social media. Term used loosely. There's not much social about it, for what I've heard. But I saw a lot of hate, but see, with anything that people hate, there's always the other side, isn't there? Yeah. People love it.
Yep.
So, and then with that, it was just like, that's when my followers grew properly, with the kind of liberal left of America just came in and followed me like, oh, I really like this guy. And then I just went back to talking about Scottish politics, and I almost been sitting there like that. What am I watching, man? But none of them left, so that was all right. And you just always used to get hi from New York, and you're like, oh, hi. What am I meant to do with that? But hi, hello. And then I lost the account, which is an all too familiar story.
Aye, I know. It's
one of these things.
I know. We're talking about the obviously the positive aspects and the for the mental health side there. Is there anything else we can think of that we can put in a positive limelight of TikTok or anything?
I think for the people that come through here, they always talk about connection. You asked the question in the previous one I was on about your go-to place. Whenever you're feeling down. I think at the time I talked about, and it's still the same, just about affirmation, just, things like this. Just, I love talking to people, just to share that experience. A lot of people don't like to say how they're actually feeling. I thought you made a great point about anybody that's feeling down, they think that they're the only person feeling that. And when I think about what you were saying there about a positive at TikTok, I mean, just going back to my point I made about a Monday after a football game, and I'll just check out what WeeWido said.
Aye.
These are all, for me, positives. It's all about the connection. And if you're wanting to, people will say things, they always say, well, if you mental health, and they pigeonhole it. For me, anyway, they tend to pigeonhole and say, well, if you go to a doctor and you were to say, I've got trouble with mental health, they'll say, go and exercise because of the endorphins, right? It doesn't do it for me. If I play football, if I'm feeling down, it might be for like the 60 minutes playing football because it takes your mind away. But if I'm feeling down 10 minutes later, all the worries and woes are back there again.
This is it.
But when I'm connecting with people and I'm talking to people, and if I say to somebody, at the moment I seem to be going through loads of different bereavements, hearing people that have passed away, have had family members passed away. And my cousin Joseph, when you were doing the one we pulled on bikes, I couldn't go. My cousin Joseph, see me when my wife, Uncle E. James Callan passed away. After the funeral, just people just sharing their experiences of the person who's passed away. For me, it's a good thing because it's about that shared experience. So if people were going on to TikTok from all over the world, what you're telling me, and sharing experiences, it's a good thing. I mean, you think if you're living in America and you're maybe in an area and you're looking around you and people are following somebody like Donald Trump and it's affecting you domestically, it's affecting you domestically and all your neighbours seem to have went potty for this one guy. And then you connect with a guy from Scotland who's, telling you, when Donald Trump's saying, we're making America great again and all the world loves us. And they're feeding into their news, and you've got a wee guy saying, "No, that's not what's happening here. Hold on a wee minute here." That's a positive connection.
Yeah. Aye, so I suppose with the Green Sunrise stuff, it was all about connecting with people. I'm now starting to build something. I was always building it. You've seen
Definitely, yeah.
And now it's starting to go. I don't know, man. There's something real here.
Well, you're realising something that you spoke to me about 10 years ago when you were talking about people's mental health and the suicide awareness thing that you were, you know, and that was a big eye-opener to me, and how you've just progressed that and continue to progress that.
Yeah. But it's again, it's all thanks to you, Leanne, WeeLee and WeeWido. It's like it's all thanks to people that come into this. So what I will say is, I've been inviting people, just randomly. Sometimes I'll see them and I'll see something, and I'll be like, I wonder if they'd like to do a podcast, right? So I'll genuinely go at them. By the way, have you ever done a podcast, guys or girls? You ever done a podcast? And I'm like, what? Me? I've done it with you. It's like I'm asking people who would never have came into a studio or a podcast thing to do it. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing that. So this is a call to anybody that wants to, they've got something to give, or they maybe actually, what I'm looking for is people that don't think they've got something to give. I'm looking for people who are scared.
You were really nervous before.
This is very true.
You were really nervous before this, and yet I found that really funny because you made the crank TikTok videos, and then you were on TikTok last night saying, "I'm doing this podcast."
We don't see what other people see though,
and
like in ourselves.
Wow.
We don't. Like we definitely don't. So like obviously I'm like, oh my god, and then I'm like, hang on a minute,
this is potential, eh?
I'm like, I could talk about a lot. It's just nerves. Like obviously once I'm alright now, like. So
you've no shot.
It's the same.
Once you just.
So this I'm saying. So especially with you, right? So you've came to the end. Let's just say you've come to the end of TikTok, right? It's like bombshell stuff, right? And it's like, it's no. I don't believe it is. I believe it's you need a big massive rest.
Are both of you? What's next for both of you? How are you going to progress?
What is next?
How are you going to progress? Your TikTok, your lives, and what's next for you? Because you can't stop.
Well,
you can't stop there. You get too much to offer. You've got far too much to offer.
100%.
I'll be honest. I don't know. Like
you just need a bit. I think you just need a rest.
Pretty much what I've done all my life. But like as I say, I'm on my other socials. Like I was never ever big on Twitter till about maybe 2 months ago. I just didn't get the feel for it.
Still don't know how to use it.
And then
it's just comments.
Even I can use it. So
and then
it's just comments.
I done a poem, right? It was a football poem. I put it up, and somebody shared it on Twitter, and they done well off it, and I'm like, that's me.
Aye.
So I was like that.
So because it's in the public domain, they're using it.
The thing with my Twitter is my Twitter's all football.
Aye.
I don't pay
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My TikTok's no all football. It can be a mix of things and just genuinely putting stuff up to trigger people and give myself a laugh. Everything that goes on my Twitter's all football. So anything I post football related, and I just put it on Twitter. And I think that's probably what I'll keep doing, is just keep making football related videos.
Yep.
And just post them on Twitter until I feel, I say I need a good year off. I reckon might be less, might be more. But in my head it's forever. But it might change.
You're helping me with this channel, right?
Yes.
And the people that come into this channel. I'm asking you on this, why don't you do something mental health? Just pick a subject, do what you do with your TikTok videos, and actually come in or do a video yourself don't even need to tag me. It's not about me, man. It's about the fact that this is something that you can make an explosion based on positive message about a certain aspect of mental health. And right now we're talking about the good parts of TikTok and the bad parts of TikTok. There is badness and there's negative things in everything, but you've said it, really, we don't go to that place. We don't need to go to the negative place.
No.
Just go to the positive shit and just go how we can do
What
it.
about yourself then? What's next for you? I mean, you should grow. Everything should,
I'm not entirely sure. I'm the same. Like, I'm good at everything. So,
Aye.
apart from being modest.
No, like, there's a lot of things, like, see, mental health, I could talk about mental health, like, so much, and obviously I've, like, lived it, experienced it. I've not just read it for a book or whatever.
But you mentioned
do you know what I mean?
BPD the night. I have no idea what that is, so that's something there.
I'm still learning myself.
Well, there you go. That's something that
And
you
I learned a lot, probably more through TikTok. A lot made sense about why I've been a certain way through a lot of years, thinking there's something wrong with me, and really there's not.
No, there's definitely
But I don't know. Mental health, I would say, is my kind of area.
Yeah.
But again, just seeing how it goes, really.
You would
I'm
need to
working a lot
actually,
on-
you need an actual word and a situation where you can, because you're right now, I could, if somebody gave me, like the word DVD training, the dialectical behavioural therapy, right? Somebody says to me, what is it? Then I'd need to actually talk to them and say, well, this is what it is. It's taking two things that don't necessarily work but making them work by looking at every aspect from the outside and making those things work. That's DBT, and my other people might disagree or they might have a different version of it. But if somebody's to ask you, how can you help me with my mental health? You can't. You need to know precisely what it is.
But there, with the connection with Paul, I mean, in your connections, you could bring people in here and have a an episode on that subject where other people going through, things like yourself.
Oh, there's certain subjects that you could, like, I could definitely...
PTSD, I mean, I dealt with a guy who had PTSD when I was a manager with Royal Mail through the army. I mean,
See, a lot of people are just associated with it is.
It's-
It can be scary. You
Yeah,
can
a
be
lot of
in,
people do associate it with the army, don't
they
they?
do, but it can be like trauma, and then C PTSD, which is complex post-traumatic
which is-
stress, which is a lifetime of unhealed traumas. Do you know what I mean? Which is another thing that I struggle with.
Yeah.
So the two of them are quite different. So I think I would do something along the lines of mental health, but for now I'm kind of working on myself. more
Yeah, well, that's the
just
most
now.
important thing, and that is the most important thing.
Right.
But then, as you said, you said earlier on, about
See the coaching
how
side of
it's
things. I
helped you.
actually still love the coaching side of it. Like I said to Paul when I had done the coaching, but then I didn't feel like I could really coach anybody. I was barely coaching my own life at the time. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I need to kind of put that on the back burner
You need
just
to have
now.
an episode.
Basically, you can't run a marathon unless you're fit in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe a life coaching episode would be good as well, and just I am.
I really loved that. I really enjoyed doing the life coaching course and that.
Well, you should get into DBT. The DBT. Everybody should get. By the way, so DBT training tells you at the very start, it's not just for people who have BPD or EUPD, which is the one Paul.
The new term. It's the new term for BPD because
But
they
it's
say
emotional unstable
borderline.
personality, so that one.
I think emotionally unstable sounds worse than borderline.
No, it is.
I
But
do.
they say it's. I think that
They say-
it's the same, but it's like there's obviously.
I
there's
think
more.
because when they called it borderline, it was more to say it was in your head, rather. But they've realised now it's an actual medical term. Like your brain, your neurons, and that they all change. So your brain changes. Do you know what I mean? So it's not all in your
So
head.
tell us a wee bit more about it while we're here then.
Oh Jesus!
Just a wee bit. Because I have no idea what it is, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in that sort of neurological thing because I've got epilepsy.
See, I love all that. Like
So-
I'm right into all like the. I would.
So that's a neurological disorder that I've got, I'm not
Yeah, 'cause
just
it can be
mental,
chemical
I've actually got
imbalance.
epilepsy.
Exactly.
There's a lot going up there.
Exactly, and people always think it's your mental state. Just speak nicer to yourself. Just do this to yourself. Just do that. It's not as easy as just doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because, and like I said, we've all got mental health, but there's mental illness, which is different.
So if I was to go and Google borderline personality disorder, right? And you get the wee sort of summary to start. What am I going to be reading? Obviously,
two
well, no,
different people,
but yeah, aye, is that what it is?
Pretty much, right.
But is it like a
So you've got,
schizophrenia,
like,
or is it
no,
a...
It's really hard to explain because it comes with like a lot of things. So it's you feel when you feel it, it's intense. All your feelings are intense. So your anger's intense. The love is intense. Excitement is intense. You have manic episodes. You have depressive episodes.
Do you want me to read it? So what?
I don't know. You could have
So
like
BPD stands for borderline personality disorder. It's a mental health disorder characterised by patterns in instability in interpersonal relationships, self-image, emotions, and impulsive behaviour. People with BPD often experience intense and rapidly shifting emotions, have a distorted self-image, struggle with self-worth, and exhibit impulsive and self-destructive behaviours. So some common symptoms and features of BPD include the intense fear of abandonment. People with BPD may have a deep fear of being abandoned or rejected, leading to efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment.
that's the biggest one for BPD.
Aye.
It's because usually it stems from like an emotionally unavailable parent,
Right?
Yep.
like as a child.
So that's where the ACEs come in.
So because you've kind of had to like pretty much like, do you know what I mean? Like beg for validation from somebody who should have automatically show you that. Do you know what I mean? So like it kind of stems to that. So any sort of rejection that you then feel growing up, it's not just something that's a learned behaviour. Do you know what I mean? It's how your brain's obviously affected by the emotional unavailability of the parent.
So it says unstable and intense relationships. Individuals with BPD often have tumultuous and unstable relationships marked by idealisation and devaluation of others.
So you end up you end up creating this cycle of toxic partners. Like when you've got like that's what I would say over the last couple of years that I've done a lot of looking in on, and that's why I'm on my own. And I'm just starting that to discover myself because obviously troubled relationships and things like that. But yeah, you do. It does lead on, but it all stems from childhood, and that's the work that I'm doing just now is realising that that's where it stemmed from, and I think that's helped me massively more than any medication.
But I mean, we're talking about TikTok and these types of things. I mean, I wonder how many people have found maybe a freedom or found where they were struggling with toxic relationships, abandonment, no having relationships, and through either not just TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, social media, you know, fellow souls, people in similar situations. I mean, you've just mentioned earlier on you've got ADHD. I think now that is something that people can mention. It's picked up in schools. It's picked up in. I mean, I have no doubt that I wouldn't even be surprised if I've got something like a deficit attention disorder, because I'm like yourself. I mean, I carry 30 seconds on something, I'm
It's
gone.
quite similar to BPD as well. There are a lot of similar symptoms.
It can be,
But
especially the emotional side of things, like
for my generation,
intense.
these were just for my generation, my dad's generation. It was either you were smart or you were stupid.
that's pretty much it.
And that was it. But nowadays, we're now getting into a world where people are actually trying to identify
on
things.
like the ADHD, like I look at my wee boy's autistic, and see when I look back at when I was in school, autism's something you never ever heard about. Like I had no clue what it was, but I can picture people who I went to school with, where I can look back now and go, they had similar kind of similar personality to my wee boy, and all they ever get labelled as was the problem weighing in the class and always causing trouble, and it was never ever dealt with properly. Whereas now it's widely known about people with autism. It is way more common than what people ever thought possible. So, and then even with ADHD, like I was a wee bastard in school, and I was just labelled as a wee bastard, right? No, just in a, when I say a wee bastard, I was just a class clown.
Just
full of stupidity.
Aye.
Like, kicked out of classes, wasn't allowed in certain classes, and whatever, just because I was just full of carry on.
You were a WeeWido?
Pretty much, aye. That's pretty much it. Answer for everything. Always doing stupid things, no thinking about what the consequences are going to be. And it was something everybody thought I was an idiot. My family thought I was an idiot. And then ADHD, my partner mentioned it to my ex-partner mentioned it to me. And I went and get checked. And I was 19 at the time, went through the test. No test, but went and seen somebody and basically said, you've 100, wasn't even like there's a 96% chance like you have ADHD. And she knew, you go for 2 examinations, and the first one, she knew from 15 minutes of me being in the room, she's like, this isn't your official diagnosis, but I'm about 100% sure, I'm 100% sure you have ADHD. And then I went and I seen somebody else, and that was walking back, and it was like listed all the different things. And as you say, it's like the intense emotions. The intense emotions is up, and I can time it through my day when I look at it. I'll wake up in the morning, and as soon as I'm in the car, if I base it on how I go to work now, in the car, and I pick my boy up, not my boy, but just a boy I work with, and he's in my car, and I am full pelt, hyper, stupid, daft in the head from we get to the car to we get to the job until lunchtime. And then I am boom, hit a low straight away. And that's pretty much the same pattern every day. At the weekend, my moods just go mental because there's no stability. Whereas what as I said, as I've spoken before, I'm so regimented, so everything works in a certain way for me. Whereas at the weekends, things can happen, and I can be hyper and happy and being stupid to just boom, angry straight away. And it is like so, like nothing will bring me to the anger. And then I can be sitting there like why am I angry? And I'll get angry over the silliest things. Can I find a pair of socks? And in my head, that's the pair of socks I want.
Right.
It's something stupid as that, and that will just set me off, and don't talk to me, don't do nothing, and just go mental. And then find the socks, and
I read a really interesting thing a good few years ago where, and again, we were talking earlier on about things not being, checked or unregulated. So again, hasten to add, this is just something I read. But where I found it really interesting was that the author was basically saying that things like ADHD, and I know these are totally different things. You get the spectrum, but again, he was moving on when I read it in later chapters, and he went on to talk about autism, Asperger's. That this is the modern day evolution. This is how, in the future, because of technological advancements, people want things right. There, want them now, want them there, want them now, and then again. By all means, I am no expert on autism. You can maybe tell us a bit on that, or Asperger's, because got a friend who's got a child that's got Asperger's. But these are the modern day evolution in it, in years to come. That is how people will progress.
100%
agree. Will move on.
Kids with ASD today will change the world. 100%.
I've always said that, honestly. I think
swear
that
to God.
incredible minds.
And it's
neurodivergency, they call it.
Yeah. So when I say my wee boy's autistic, he has Asperger's, but they don't use Asperger's. It's not a term that's used anymore. It's just you're just on the spectrum. You have autism, and that's it.
Right.
And the reason they've done that is because if you get labelled with having Asperger's, you didn't get the same amount of care and help as you did as if you were labelled as having autism. So now they all come under the same spectrum, and they're all dealt with in the same way, but according to their needs.
Is that right? Would you say that's the right thing to do?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because it's because it usually when it was Asperger's, even when it comes to like their care in school and further education and stuff, kids with Asperger's weren't given the same opportunities that kids with just autism is, and it can hold them back so much. My boy would be labelled as having Asperger's in that aspect, and he's so he's only 6. He's so intelligent. He's been reading since he was 2. Like he can. There isn't a word in the world he can't spell. So good with his numbers as well now, and like everything. Like he's. You know what I bring other kids doing, but he's above and beyond anybody that's in his class.
Right.
But with that comes the need for, same as myself, everything being regimented has to be the way it is. If it's not the way it is, meltdown, and that's it. And yeah, he's the most loving wee guy in the world, but if things aren't the way he wants it, then it is mayhem.
See, BPD's a bit like that as well.
Yeah.
It's similar.
Yep.
Like the like
Yeah.
you're saying, see if I've no structure.
Yep.
I am all over the place. Same what he's saying, if you can't find a pair of socks, it's almost to the point where you actually could be reduced to tears. Like, do you know what I mean? Like everything else is fun, and then it's like, I'm not doing this then if I can't find my socks, and it needs to be these socks or whatever.
The scary thing for me is, I mean, when I was wee, I just labelled it and said you were either smart or you were stupid. But nowadays, kids all go into mainstream schools. But when I think back to, kids that were get picked up in a wee blue and yellow van and get taken to different schools, and why it still freaks me out to this day is I had a wee pal, and for the life of me, still to this day, and he's very successful now. But he went to a different wee school. We went to one of the schools that were like, in Glasgow, you'd Kerry Hill, and you'd one up my way, St Kevin's. I've no idea what was still to this day, and I've never said what was actually wrong with you. Why did you not go to the same school as me? But I think that's what it was.
And they were labelled as.
See, I think they struggle with their behaviour and all that as well, more because of their level. I think that because there's so much going on in their head and that, eh? Like, that's the same for BPD and ADHD and all that as well.
This was my problem at school, right? With it blowing me in trumpet, right? I am quite intelligent, and I've always been quite intelligent. I started school, and it bored me to tears because I'm sitting getting taught stuff I know. And that just makes me, it just like, if I, and then it's I'm not getting the attention I need here, so I'm going to make them give me attention.
That's like the Goodwill Hunting thing, isn't it?
But basically,
Matt Damon, with the Johnny, but it was just, I mean, there was a play years, you're talking maybe about 30, 40 years ago. I always remember watching, and it was about a wee kid who was a genius, right? Or they were saying, but again, you've got to remember, this is of its time. And the school was talking to the parent because the wee guy was too intellectual for the school and they didn't know what to do with him, and it was causing problems. And the ludicrous to think back now, but they basically, on this show, the happy ending was the wee guy lost his intellect. And I don't know how that was, but I mean, that's, you remember, I watched this 40 years ago, and it was like, oh, great, he's as stupid as every other wee kid. We've moved on now from that. That would be, I like to think we've moved on anyway from that.
I'd agree 100%. Even the curriculum in schools now, they've changed it, and it suits kids who are, for instance, like my wee boy, and as he gets, he's only in primary 1, so as he gets further, is he in primary 2? Oh, he's in primary 1. Right, I should know these things. We're going into primary 2. It's because he's 6. I'm like, that's that in primary 2. But like, even as him, like, he gets so much help, and for what I've learned from his teachers, and like, he'll just sit and tell you his school was good and you'll get nothing else from him, but from what you've learned from his teachers is, like, he does really well in class. He has his own, and they're so good with him. He has his own wee area in the class. It's got like a wee tent and stuff that you can go and sit in and come away for the rest of the world and sit and read a book, and probably read a book that the rest of them aren't able to read yet, and you can do these other things. Whereas when it was me in school, and I knew, like, I know this, I still had to sit there and try and learn something I already know. And eventually I just, like, in school, I just shut off. I was just like, especially towards the end of my education, like
so in a sense, they weren't getting you enough.
Yeah, basically, come 3rd and 4th year, like, I'm just sitting there, this is boring me. It's like, comes with ADHD, is like, you get hyper focus. See if there's something that I really want to know, I will dedicate my life to knowing it and doing it at its best. See if I already know it, I have no interest whatsoever. You're going to get that.
I think I've got ADHD.
How were you?
I'm being
How were you
serious.
at school, Leanne? When you had to
it?
travel, how were you at school? What did you?
It was hard work. I was a class clown, I know. believe it or not.
No, there's a theme there.
And it was because, like, see if I am no interested in something, there's no interest, that's it. I won't even try. Like, but like he's saying, if you're interested in something, you go full in, like you're really deep in it. I'm very like that as well.
Yeah.
Like, cause
That's a little bit in Trainspotting and you've got the accent for it. Remember Spud goes
not
for
with the interview, I love that bit.
Spud goes for the job and he's like, hey, if
I talk about all this.
if I'm not interested in something,
I was wondering how long
I'll
it was
just
going to
chuck
take
it.
before that
I'll
got
just
brought
chuck
up,
it.
by the way, my accent. I
You're
was
the
waiting
man.
for it. No, because that's my favourite part of that movie, is when he's
brilliant,
staying in the
That is a
interview.
brilliant part of that movie. He just rattles off and he's like,
Just Kim, I mean, like,
but you're happy to be here. We've no bored you enough that you're all right here. You've no lost interest yet. You've no lost
that's the end
interest.
of that scene. I'm happy to be here,
It rubs off on
Professionals. So, I suppose, because obviously, a disclaimer, if you like, we're no professionals, we're none of us are doctors or anything like that. And obviously, if anybody's struggling with that kind of stuff, definitely seek professional help. So, when seeking professional help, did you have somebody to tell you, right, you need to contact these people to help you with your certain situation?
Where did you go to?
I originally went to my GP, and then it was just a referral system for it took. I went when I was either just at the end of being 19 or just turned 19, and it took almost a year to get diagnosed. But now from what I've been told, I think it's about 3 years for an adult to get diagnosed.
Everybody on Leanne's live is now phoning up the NHS.
Honestly, see, it's not just that. That's where I struggled with the moving. See, getting proper help for mental health because I moved so much. Obviously, you move doctors and things like
that's
that.
true. Yeah.
So a lot of things go undetected. So I tend to go like in on myself. I'll not go to the doctors until I'm really, 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 really struggling. Like, and that's the only time.
Sorry, just to stop you there, right? No, being rude or anything like that. So, if you've been moving about, do you think there was people, right? I'm dealing with Leanne's case. We're going to do that. Oh, she's fucked off. But does it not go to the next person? But it not get passed?
No, is that the medical
They
term?
must have had that quite a lot.
Was
Fucked
that-
off a lot.
Was that the medical term? Leanne has fucked off.
She's on.
Just a way to tell her how to do something like that, she has left it on.
You should have that. You should have that on your
Yeah.
TikTok. Try and have some sort of, so when I go in the Monday, after a Celtic B Rangers, and it's WeeWido has fucked off. So that's interesting. Then I just try to work out when I can make my appointment to find out what's wrong with me. But I think I'm a bit too. No, but that's good. That's
No,
again,
it's good.
about-
There's been a few years, I suppose, that's been. So, wait a minute, a vital age. So you didn't get diagnosed till 19. I know you're saying it's like 3 years before somebody can get diagnosed, which is.
If you hadn't have done that, how do you think would it have made things different for yourself?
See, the thing, I've not really changed, and I've never accepted any help in the terms of like medication. I've just sort of understanding it and knowing that I had it, and then doing my own research is the only thing that's going to help me. I've read too many negatives of taking the medication, whatever one that they choose to give you, Ritalin or whatever. It's just, for me, it's just like, that's not me. Like I was fine, other than being daft in the head, extremely forgetful. I lose everything. Like, I don't know if you don't know. Every 5 minutes I've turned around and made sure my keys and that are still there. Because if I don't, I could lose them from sitting here, believe it or not. They could go missing. I lose.
That's beside your head.
Absolutely everything. I've got a wee guy, so I fit vent. I'm a duct fitter, and I've got a wee guy who works with me. Who's just a wee mate, and he's in control of everything. He needs to make sure I've got all my tools in my bag and puts my tools away, because I can't be trusted. I'll lose everything. There isn't a thing in the world that I've not lost.
Right.
My passport, I only get a year's passport. See, when you get, everybody gets a 10-year passport.
Aye.
Mine's a year, because I've lost so many.
Wow.
Like, my forgetfulness is through the
What do you mean?
Wow.
It's they only give you like a year's passport?
And my passport lasts for 1 year.
I don't know, you could take a look.
No, I
I'll
don't
send
know.
you a photo of it tonight.
Do you have to pay? Do you have to pay extra for that, or do you just?
£8 everybody a year. And so usually you pay £80 for 10 years. I'm
Try not lose it and just pay
I wish it
£80
was
for
that
10
easy.
years.
As soon as I got it, my missus is like, I'll take that. And I was like,
Seriously?
oh, I'm so
Wow.
bad.
How can you not just get one for 10 years and your missus can hold it for
Look after
you?
it for you.
Because they only give me for a year. They only give me it.
Is that because of...
Because
Amount of times you
I've
lost
lost
it.
so many, aye. And then
Oh,
they sent
right.
they sent this one through, and then they sent a letter through with this one.
So they must think you're at it.
Sent a letter through
obviously.
with this one is if you lose this one, there'll be an investigation. And it's like, see,
Right.
try to tell them, it's like, well, I've got ADHD.
An investigation
I'll lose
into my
everything.
head.
There's going to be a day when I tidy the house and there's just 4 passports sitting somewhere.
Aye.
I found them, can I get my 10-year passport?
That's telling them.
This is the thing, because obviously you could, I don't know, who am I saving a passport to? There's no to it there as handsome as me, so I can't say that.
I don't know what any of this shaved their head. But wow, man, I didn't know. I didn't know. That was a
I'll
thing.
send a photo of it tonight.
See, you touched upon the medication as well. See, I don't either. And a lot of people always look at that as a
don't
negative
what,
thing
sorry?
because
Use
take medication.
Take medication.
All right,
Don't
okay.
use medication either. Anytime I've tried, it's made me worse.
Yeah.
See what you're saying? It doesn't make you don't feel
People
yourself.
become reliant on it, which is worse as well.
It kills a part of yourself.
Yeah.
But
Personally-
just as a disclaimer,
Disclaimer, take your
Aye.
medication. No, 'cause
Personally,
I've got epilepsy, and if I don't take
Aye.
my
No,
medication,
that's different.
I have
Exactly.
seizures.
Different.
Yes.
exactly.
Although
and
on medication, I've got a cracking story that I love telling. Right, I love telling. My neurologist put me on different medication one time, and as a result, everything was fine. He's like, no, I think because with epilepsy, if you even take medication, you still have seizures. So every now and again, oh, I need to go back, I've had a seizure. Right, well, start messing about with your medication. And he put me on this medication and everything was fine. And then I started seeing ghosts. This is true. I was seeing
this is interesting.
Right,
I'm like, go.
so Adam,
Is this a joke, first of all?
no, Adam who's, I'm like, your age is Adam. And so Adam was born in 2003, so he'll be
20 this year.
20 this year, right? So this goes back to when he was born. So it obviously woke up, and I don't know if I was doing the usual I was doing back then, kidding on, I couldn't hear the newborn baby and all that, and then the wife would go, oh, I never heard him. But she was bringing him into the room, and Pamela said, look, I've got, meaning Adam, but there was a guy who stood next to him, and I'm like, who the hell's that? So she was convinced that I was, I see dead people, and it was like her grandfather or something, right? And I was in a house myself one time, and I just felt this sort of presence come past me, and it was starting to really worry me. And again, I didn't want to tell anybody, and I eventually told the doctor, and he's like, no, something's not right. And all it was they switched off that medication, and I was all right again.
See,
No way.
The ghost left.
I get that with
crazy.
sleep paralysis. Like,
Oh, do you get sleep paralysis?
yeah, so I need to listen to either music or a podcast
Aye.
when I'm sleeping,
Right?
because if I don't, the silence just makes me have mad dreams, and then I get sleep paralysis. And when I wake up and I can't move, I always see people in the room. And my whole thing is I need to try.
See,
and,
this is why connecting with people is so
Yeah.
good. I have
See,
never met anybody else
you-
that has that.
and
like,
and my need is to try and get to them, but I can't fucking move.
you can't move.
see
It's
it.
horrible.
Yeah.
But do you hear all the voices?
I hear
in
everything.
a distance
I
as well.
I can hear
It's-
I can hear like trains going through my
Can't
head,
move.
and like,
Aye.
it's just.
See,
I'm
I had one
just sitting there, just stiff kind of there.
post-ictal psychosis. I had that. Do you know what that is? No. Well, it's a seizure that goes on for about a week. So I never knew who was coming in to visit me in hospital or whatever. It's basically a seizure, and it wouldn't stop. So my wife had to phone the ambulance, and away I went. Now, by all accounts, I was, and I am spiritual and fairly religious, but I can't. But by all accounts, I was quoting the Bible, chapter and verse, and I was speaking in tongues, and I was getting convinced that God was visiting me and everything else, and
Maybe it is.
but if you read the Book of Revelations, that's what that is now. St. Paul on, I think he was on either Patmos or something, no doubt will have the religious right saying, oh, you've got it totally wrong. But to me, I went and read that because apparently I was quoting that and thinking, how's that? But that was just me having a psychotic seizure.
Was it? But you having a seizure, but.
You know,
this is what you're going after,
it's a common thing. It's a common thing. I was speaking to a nurse and she says, we've seen it. It's weird. It's wild.
That's
when it happens.
crazy.
Yeah, but the best thing about that whole episode was when I was leaving hospital and I came to. I was walking out and this poor guy was shuffling along. He's like, "I'll see you later, Chris Evans." I'm like, no bother. So I'm just wondering, to this day, I've always wondered, was I telling this guy when I was having a seizure, I am Chris Evans? This guy's
Right, let's conclude. Let's conclude today. That's us. We're just about finished. Let's conclude. So TikTok's let's go back to TikTok's algorithm. It was good that we could speak about the mental health aspect. That's what I love about this. You can talk about anything.
I've still
it's
not
all
got a
good.
clue what TikTok algorithms is other than Big Brother's watching me.
Well, I think it's obviously that it looks at who you're following and it tries to match you up. But I don't know if it's a negative or a positive. I believe it's positive in a sense, but I can understand there's a negative.
Without a negative or a positive, nothing works, does it?
Yeah, it's true.
That's pretty much
There's,
it.
true.
there's always, wherever there's darkness, there's light.
Yeah, that's true. There's pleasure, there's pain in it. So.
So how did you find that, Leanne?
There's pleasure, there's pain.
WeeLee.
That was good.
WeeLee11.11.
Did you enjoy it? Did you
it was
enjoy
good.
it? Aye,
And but
that's good.
thank you.
I kept looking at that book though because that's the next book I want to read. Feeling Good with David Burns.
But what?
Feeling Good.
Just take a photo of every page before you leave. And you're
Just like
No, David Keenan. David Keenan
my
is the
son
officer.
actually, my son.
Is the author. We have to
I bought
promote
this.
David Keenan.
I had this for years. I'd lost it. In fact, I gave it to my ex-partner. Chimp Paradox.
I've seen that one.
You used to speak about that.
I've read
That's a
that.
brilliant book. And I gave that to my daughter for Christmas.
I'm going home to watch Star Wars,
Star Wars.
which is right next to it.
I was never a big fan of Star Wars.
No, I'm a pure Harry Potter nerd as well.
Are you?
Oh, aye.
never seen Star Wars or Harry Potter.
Nah,
I'm planning to keep
no,
it that way.
You're not missing much about Harry
To be fair,
You're not missing much about
I'm not slagging Harry Potter.
I
here,
struggle
come
to watch any movie, so it's not really that.
on.
No, so anyway, look, thank you again.
Been an
Leanne.
absolute joy. I'm looking forward to.
Thank you so much.
It'll have to be Twitter for yourself.
Well, unfortunately.
WeeWido, man.
I'll be following you. We love hearts and stuff, and
Near
I'll
your
be there.
flames.
Fire emoji.
No.
That's what I was saying.
If I do flames, it'd be flames off my wife, and you don't want flames with Pamela Mitchell. You know what I mean?
Kick his head in. But no, thank you very much, guys, for coming in today again. Brian, thank you
Anytime.
for doing that. And yes, there's so much more coming ahead. We've got JC coming on as well.
I'd say 99%.
Aye, so JC's coming on as well from TikTok. Again, he's got a massive story. They've all got massive stories. Again, hope Doug Heed's getting better. Hope she's healing up quick as. Thank you to Nicola Taylor. She was coming in today, but she had study to do as well. So thank you. She was coming in. She would have come in. Emma Cassidy. I know you're coming in, darling, so thank you very much. I know we get the dates mixed up. I do apologise. So thank you so much. And anybody else that is affected by anything that's happened in today's episode, make comments. If you want to come into the green room and meet the team, it might not be Brian, it might not be WeeWido, it might be a few other guys. Bob's coming back.
Brilliant.
Bang on Bob is coming back. I was doing a wee TikTok with him yesterday. And yes, if there's anything you wanted to contact us, wanting to say, try to get that word out. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please share it. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. We are up to 175 subscribers, Brian. I think that's right.
Is that right?
175 subscribers. Now, the last time we done this, we were at just going on to 100. So it's going up. If anybody wants to watch it and wants to come on, like I say, I'm repeating this. Please share it out with your friends and family. Have an excellent day.
If you're going to miss WeeWido on TikTok, Green Sunrise Podcast.
Yes,
I'll be right here.
He'll be doing overtime.
As often as time allows.
He'll be doing overtime with the Green Sunrise anyway. Thank you so much for that again. And yes.
And after this, I'm going to meet my good friend Sir Arthur Guinness.
Yes,
He'll be expecting you.
Sir Arthur Guinness. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah!
Still not there. Yes! Well, thank you very much.